This is a Willets Point Shea Stadium bound 7 express train. The next and last stop is Willets Point, Shea Stadium.
Think about Sean Manaea and what he's done this season. You talked about the arm angles, and I had one of my friends on the show talk about the breaking down the change in his arm angle, looking at Chris Sale. And I saw Chris Sale pitch this year against the Mets, and they could not pick up his side arm angle. And that's what you're seeing from Sean Manaea now. And it is very deceptive, the way he throws now compared to the way he threw at the beginning of the season.
Right.
I want to know from what your thoughts are. Is it time to, because he has I think it's the player option. Is it time to start thinking about giving him the extension to a long-term deal? Because look, we're going to be right back at square one when it comes to rebuilding a rotation again.
Yeah, because you don't have the kids that are ready.
Yeah, they're not ready. Christian Scott's not really that ready. I mean, we saw it in his last couple of starts before he got injured. Kodai Senga, we don't know if he can stay healthy. Like you said, we don't know who the real David Peterson is.
Right.
Really, this rotation is in flux again. And although it's been just this year, but Sean Manaea pitched well in San Francisco last year as well. Is this a guy that you invest in, considering all the other free agents that are out there?
I mean, there's 3 free agents on the staff. I think Quintana is going to still get a decent contract, and I would probably walk away from him unless it's a 1-year deal, very limited. I think Severino could get a 3-year deal, let's say somewhere in the 17 to 18 million a year type of deal. Maybe, remember, good pitchers may get 20 a year. I mean, that's kind of the number I'm looking at. Now, Manaea is a guy, one of the thoughts I had is, and I don't know if Boris would even entertain this. I'm sure he's got a binder telling you why he's the next Chris Sale for the next 4 or 5 years of his career. And he's going to ask for $25 million a year for the guy. But, if you could get him for the bird in hand offer, opt into the $14.5 million, tack on 3 more years to bring him up to 80 total. Rodriguez got 4 years, 80 million from Arizona. And I guess that comes out to the final 3 years, 22 million a year ish. And see if you can get him for a 4-year deal. And that'll allow you to have in the late prime this reinvented version of Manaea. Was a premium prospect back in the day, finally hitting his stride as to who you thought he would be. And he could anchor that rotation and give Sproat some time to develop. McLean, if he's an option, Christian Scott. You'd have Severino, who's kind of an innings workhorse type of guy, knows New York. And, certainly Peterson, who you control, maybe he slides into that Quintana role if you believe in the, what your eyes are seeing versus the advanced analytics. And then you could go out there, and I guess the real big question would be, can you bring in a legit ace, a Burns? Do you want to go the Blake Snell route if he's a free agent? I wouldn't. Do you want to take that risk on a contract at the top rotation, or do you see the value of using good analytic principles and bringing in guys on shorter term deals to give you pretty good rotations and build for the bullpen and offense? I mean, that's going to be kind of the way. And I think it's going to be an interesting, fascinating conversation because ultimately long-term contracts for pitchers are risky. Look at Yamamoto and how little he's pitched in LA. That would have been the Mets this year. Imagine the conversations we'd be having. We knew that was a risk. Corbin Burns comes in here and blows out his arm like Jacob deGrom did in Texas. You lose 2 years of that contract, and you're paying him. Mets just are about to get out from under bad money with Scherzer and Verlander. Now, those were short-term contracts, and they thought they could squeeze the last bit of juice out of them. And look, they only got a third of the value of those contracts of any top of the rotation Hall of Fame performances, and even that's debatable. So I would certainly approach him. I don't know if that's something that he'd do before the season's out, but I'd call Boris and say, hey, before we have to do this dance, because we got to dance with Pete Alonso, we might have to dance with Soto. Can we dance? Can we do an opening act and just get this done? If the Mets believe what they're seeing is sustainable. And that's the difference with this front office. And in the past, they're going to take emotion out of it. They're going to put field and eye test along with analytics. And I think they'll make a good decision.
These pitchers in free agency, their prices are astronomical and they rarely delivered. I mean, you look at maybe Garrett Cole as one of those starting pitchers that has delivered on his contract.
I mean, DeGrom, I think on the first one for the most part, I mean, he was out the last couple of years.
Injuries kind of.
You got a half a year in
that,
one and a half a year in another. I mean,
Yeah.
that sucks. But I mean, 2020, 2019, 2020 would have been an elite season if there was actually a full season that year. So,
and the Mets have to come to a point, especially when developing these prospects, where they're developing good pitchers and not having to pay for overpricing some of these starters on the market. Develop your starting pitchers, spend money on the position players and those guys that play every day.